Hey, we're back with another episode of Before You Buy, that show where we give you some straight up gameplay and our first impressions of the latest games releasing. Today it's me, Jake, and we're talking about Tainted Grail, the Fall of Avalon. We're checking out this one because it kind of came out of nowhere for us, and we all got a lot of messages and comments just suggesting we check it out. What the heck is this game? Like, why is it being mentioned so much and blowing up on Steam? Well, I bought the game and jumped in to check it out for myself. Keep in mind, this feels like a fairly big game, and this is only first impressions. I'm only like scratching the surface here, but just know there's also a demo if you want to try it out yourself. Basically, if you go in with your expectations set at a certain level and you can tolerate some issues, what we have here is an ambitious Elder Scrolls style game from a small studio, like an indie studio. If you're looking for Oblivion or hell, even Skyrim kind of nostalgia, but without Bethesda, this is a game that attempts to put a unique spin on that formula. Really, in setting and atmosphere. It's definitely a flawed game. It does not look very good at all graphically, and the combat is really a drag, aside from some cool occasional powers. But the game excels at you getting the feel of just wanting to constantly see more and explore more and just do more. It starts off a little slow, but once it gets going, you'll be hooked questing, dungeon diving, talking to weird NPCs, stealing shees, the kind of stuff you love to do in a Bethesda RPG. But here, it's all dripped in this like bleak, depressing atmosphere. It's one part kind of gothic, like the style, but also the game. It's one part Bloodborne, one part H.R. Giger inspired design. Graphically, like I said, it's rough, but the art direction here, the characters, the environments, the creatures, it all really helps pull it all in and just make it feel really unique. It all also just feels extremely M-rated. It's all super grim, really depressing. Everybody's dying, everything sucks, but just in a way that really works for the game and kind of helps it stand out. The developers here, a Polish studio named Awaken Realms, have only done a handful of titles, and one is actually a deck builder set in this world. I guess that was kind of like the precursor to this, because this is like a big game with magic, stealth, archery, melee, character building, all RPG systems you'd expect, and it's centered around this really fun kind of King Arthur mythology with a completely different spin. So King Arthur is kind of like this long dead big war god king that did all this stuff and kind of forged the lands, but now that he's gone, the world has fallen into chaos with different factions, creepy cults, and strange fog and diseases destroying the land. And in the intro dungeon, King Arthur's soul kind of ends up being revived, and your character that you create ends up kind of bonding with him, bringing him along on an adventure where you set out to understand this world and possibly bring him back. There's definitely more to it, but that's at least what you're getting at the start. So, like I said, at the start, you create your character with a simple but decent character creator. You pick some character traits, and then off you go. You escape from a cell and you wander through a really unimpressive basement, like jail-style dungeon. Thankfully, once the game opens up and like shows you the lands, it feels much stronger. It picks up. As soon as you're given freedom upon like finding the first NPCs in a town, man, that's when it sets in. You have some vague goals, but it's up to you to figure out when and how to do stuff, and really just adventure around at your own pace. You can set a campfire anywhere to rest and level up. You have to be wary of a mysterious fog that sets in that can create more dangers for you. There's a lot going on here, and a dangerous world this really is. At the start, it can be frustrating because you're pretty powerless and you're very weak. You may find yourself wandering into abandoned camp consistently and just getting slaughtered. Stick with it, and it gets better, but I will say I'm not really enjoying the combat itself much. It's old school, a stamina bar, swinging a weapon, holding that button to do a heavy hit, and blocking. There's also a dodge, like dash, that feels pretty swift and can actually be really useful depending on your character build, but the combat, specifically the ranged bow I used and up-close melee weapons, just felt not good. Just very soft and squishy. Hit detection and hitboxes just feel way off in a way I can't really put my finger on, and it's just very just swing, 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 die. Very clunky and not really satisfying at all. And while the magic is cool, stealth kills and even finishers, while I'm glad they're here, they just feel very roughly implemented. What is nice is that although the game is meant to be played in first person, there is also a third person mode option, really just for kind of checking out your character. You can play in third person, but it's clearly rough, and the developers actually put like a warning disclaimer for it when you access it. Still, I appreciate it here. I just like that it's a get better by doing style RPG. The more stuff you do, the more fighting you do, the more sneaking you do, the more lockpicking, the more fishing, lumber, mining. There's a lot in this game. The more you do, the more you just engage with the game, the more you level up. And the game just seems like well paced, and I felt like I was consistently progressing in one way or another. When you level up, you earn points that you can dump into attributes like strength, endurance, dexterity, of course, and then you also get points you can spend on skill trees. And there really is an impressive amount of skill tree stuff going on here. I mean, like I was pretty blown away and actually kind of overwhelmed at the start. I'd honestly love more dedicated dialogue, like speech stuff. There is what seems to be like some skill checks catering to some of your specific attributes and conversations, but I just would have liked more, like a whole separate speech or charisma thing. Either way, questing and writing is interesting. Voice acting is a bit all over the place, but nothing egregiously cringeworthy or anything. I found side quests pretty interesting, even if some were simple, just because of some interesting writing and, of course, the setting of this world. Again, it's really impressive to see this stuff just play out from a game studio you've never heard of. NPCs go about their day, you can steal stuff, you can get caught, you can go to jail. The world map is filled with all these weird little nooks and crannies to find and weird stuff or environmental storytelling. Even like if you kill enemies out in the world and you leave and you come back, you'll find their corpses replaced with skeletons. Just cool stuff all around. Not to mention the atmosphere itself. Whether it's like trippy moments where you get transported to ethereal realms or just out in the main world, it's all just haunting, strange, almost space-like. It's a really weird spin on fantasy where you just don't know what to expect. And that's been a lot of the fun for me so far. That's kind of why I've been wandering around. Keep in mind though, cool art aside, the game just looks and feels old. For some people, a game like this is just what the doctor ordered. For some people who I guess just only play flashy big AAA games, they're gonna look at this and immediately write it off. But it's like a throwback, in a good way. You know, I guess if you don't care about graphics too much. Unfortunately, even that aside, like the look aside, performance was a distracting issue for me. Like, I'm typically pretty forgiving of tech stuff, you guys know that. Like, I personally have a high tolerance for what annoys me, but on PS5 Pro here, where I bought the game, I had some brutally distracting screen tearing and the occasional flickering sunlight. It was really, really not good looking, and it kind of messed with my eyes. The screen tearing was really, really rough, especially tough because the game's limited graphics options didn't help anything. It's only outputting at 1080p. And the screen tearing was just really, really disappointing to see here. I can't speak for the other versions. It seems okay on PC, just looking at reviews, but just be warned if you're jumping in on PS5. This is a game that, I know it's an overused phrase, but it's a game that's not for everybody. Some people are going to look at this video, and especially with YouTube's compression and stuff, they're going to think, wow, this game looks crappy, old. I don't want anything to do with it. But some of you RPG nerds out there, you Western-style RPG people, you might be into this. After I got out of that really bad intro dungeon, I could immediately tell why people have been flocking to this. I could immediately see the appeal here. I know people are just always clamoring for, you know, Morrowind or Oblivion or Skyrim style worlds and just how they're constructed, how they feel, how they go about things, and that's all apparent here. But for me, what really won me over is the whole premise, the King Arthur thing. The whole Tainted Grail, Fall of Avalon thing. Like, it actually makes good on some of these cool ideas with like these like fallen legends, this fallen kingdom that doesn't just feel completely like video game nonsense. There's some really cool elements to it, from the writing, yes, but also the presentation, some odd music choices, and again, the occasional drop of like weird H.R. Giger art just makes it way more compelling than I expected. So again, maybe consider jumping into it. It might be up your alley. Like I said, if you have some tolerance for an older feeling game, there is a lot of cool stuff here. Some cool towns, some weird creatures, some surprisingly good abilities as you get further in. I don't know. I think this one might be onto something. Flaws and all, I'm excited to see how this game goes, but also what this studio does next. I think Awaken Realms is definitely someone to keep your eye on. But hey, that's it before you buy. You know how this goes by now. I give you some pros, some cons, and some personal opinion, and now I want to hear yours down in the comments. Like I said, this was just a quickie. We've really only scratched the surface of this game. It caught us by surprise, so just putting on some quick impressions out there. Yes, it does seem like it is worth the hype, or at least worth the word on the street. But if you've been playing it, maybe you've been playing it a little bit longer than us, let us know what you think. If you like these types of games, we'd love to know your opinion, anything at all. Hit us up down in the comments. But if this video helped you out at all, maybe informed you, clicking the like button helps us out. We appreciate that. We put out videos every single day too. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.